This is the voice of the patriot. And from the loose real we endeavor to always keep it real. This is where all the action is. And I want to say thank you so much for coming along. This is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. And here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, it must be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. This is where the masses are. Now the very first story I want to look at today is taken from a city newsroom. And it says, Galamsey, we will lose our seats if we impose a ban. Asante Achim South MP. And I read it. Now Kweku Asante Boateng, the member of parliament for Asante Achim South, has expressed the concerns that the government's reluctance to tackle illegal mining, commonly known as Galamsey, is driven by fears of losing the December 7 elections. Now, according to Asante Boateng, the new patriotic party strong stance against Galamsey in 2020 contributed to the party's defeat in several mining communities. Now, speaking to journalists on Wednesday, October 2, the NPP suggested that the current hesitation to impose a total ban on all forms of mining stems from this fear, a sentiment he believes could affect any political party. Now, he defended the government's caution, stating that the fear of losing votes is common concern, yes, in politics, particularly in Ghana. All right, so that is what it is. My brother, my sister, his name is Kweku Asante Boateng, and he is the member of parliament for Asante Achim South. My brother, my sister, this is interesting. Very, very interesting. What is this man talking about? He's making it clear that winning seats is more important than being nationalistic. Winning political seats and power will certainly be more important to him and his party than the lives of Ghanaians who they claim to be ruling and serving. My brother, my sister, when I read things like this, I break down. The man here is saying that the NPP almost lost an election. The NPP went ahead to lose a lot of seats in the mining areas because of its strong stance against Galamsey, aka illegal mining, in the 2020 elections. For that matter, the NPP is not going to make that mistake again. The NPP is actually hesitating to tackle this Galamsey issue. To be honest with you, if I had my own way, I would lock every member of the NPP in jail. If I had my own way, I don't want to be an extremist. I would rain several diseases on all these people. My brother, what kind of thinking is this? Diseases are killing people in so many different areas due to Galamsey. You sit in Accra. When you are sick, you run to London. Like one of you suddenly fell ill and is in an American hospital. Those of us who cannot afford to travel to America and England and pay for the services of doctors in those countries. We die at Kolebu and G. I wish I could transfer all the diseases coming out of Galamsey for the indigenous folk onto you, these dirty politicians. My brother, listen to what an MP is saying. And the story goes ahead to say that he is actually supporting the government. He defended the government's caution, stating that the fear of losing votes is a common concern in politics, particularly in regions where Galamsey is prevalent. We did it as a party, as a government before the 2020 elections. And if you can recount all our seats in the mining communities that we were trying to control were lost. So what? So now they are going from one mining community to the other, telling them that they will not stop Galamsey today, neither will they. You are cheap bigots. All you guys, you are so cheap. Your political party is extremely cheap and stinking. Stinking political party. Hey, are these human beings talking, or these are robots? Maybe AI is controlling their brains. Because you don't want to lose a seat, you will condone crime. Galamsey is illegal mining, and that is a crime. There are a lot of people who are in the courts right now awaiting trial for Galamsey. Chinese people have the effrontery to enter this country and take over the Galamsey business. Aisha Huang and Helena Huang on my mind. What a nation. You consider your country to be independent? Independent of what? You are all ostriches. You are not ready to be responsible. Listen to the voice of an MP. They lost their seats in the mining areas. In fact, when Kwame Sefa said this a couple of months ago, I didn't want to believe him totally. He came out and told the whole Ghana that when Nana Addo tried to fight Galamsey, he suffered an election that he almost lost in the year 2020. So because of that, Nana Addo has become a coward. He's no more ready to be patriotic. Posterity will judge us so harshly. Cowards in power. They are not ready to be decent. They go to the Parliament House and enact laws. And these are the same old bigots who sit back and look down on the same laws that they enact. What coward people. Can we imagine this? These are the same MPs who go to the Parliament House, wasting our air conditioning and other facilities, my brother, my sister. Sit down there, promulgate laws to make our lives better. These are the same old cheap MPs who are going around saying Galamsey must not stop because they don't want to lose their seats. What cowards! Are these human beings or some robots? Somebody should wake me up and tell me, Blakk Rasta, you are dealing with robots. Then I understand that robots have no brains. They are controlled. Hi! If you talk against crime, criminals will not vote for you. You will lose the seats. And because you do not want to lose the seats, you would encourage criminals to go on a criminal spree, crime spree. What kind of language is this? Who taught you this? What kind of schools did you go to? Are you religious or are you spiritual? Which church do you go to? Which mosque do you go to? Do you believe in God at all? Or you are heathens and sheathens? Cheap people. And these are the people who want to be called honorables. These are dirty dishonorables who do not deserve the respect of the people. And I will say this 1,000,000 times without any apology. What a shame. Look how many people are dying from Galamsey. Look how our water bodies are destroyed. Some dirty MP sits somewhere and he says, oh, you know what? Yeah, we know that Galamsey is bad. We know that several people are dying. We know that the water bodies are polluted. We know that the water company of Ghana is complaining because of heavy lead and metals in our water. But it doesn't matter. We still need to win the election. So kick this under the bed. No, that's a robot speaking. Please, producer, wake me up and tell me it's a robot. Then I can cool down and say, okay, a robot has no brains. For that matter, can we skip it? Oh, Jesus. Who voted for these guys as their MPs? Did you vote for brains or you voted for robots? I am so disappointed. That's why sometimes I'm not a fan of J.J. Rollins. But sometimes I miss him. If this were in those days, bullets will march gallantly through people's brains and heads, splitting their heads into two and journeying through their brains. Hallelujah. They'll be buried in good old mass graves, unmarked, because they have no respect for the sovereignty of this nation. I'll leave it here. Now, related to this is something I was so hesitant talking about. But my brother, it's all about our nation. Anybody who crosses our nation, my brother, we need to bring them and whip them back into line. This one here is taken from Ghana Web, and it says, our water would have turned clay by now if Galamsey will destroy it. Shatta Wale fights anti-Galamsey protests. And I read, Ghanaian dancehall artist Charles Ni Ama Mensah has questioned the reasoning behind recent protests against illegal mining, also known as Galamsey. In a series of exchanges with some ex-users, the artist argued that the recent campaign against illegal mining, including protests, are mere propaganda tools being used by some individuals to achieve their personal aims at the expense of the youth. In some of his tweets, Shatta Wale also challenged the impact of illegal mining on Ghana's water bodies as argued by those calling for the ban. And this is very important to me. He says, in some of his tweets, Shatta Wale also challenged the impact of illegal mining on Ghana's water bodies as argued by those calling for the ban. Now, according to him, Galamsey is an old practice, and if its impact were as adverse as reported and projected, the state of Ghana's water bodies would have been worse than currently witnessed. Massa, Galamsey day before them born your mother and father. If he go spoil water, like by now he turned clay, shut up if you don't know about politics. He wrote in response to a user who questioned why he seems to be against the anti-Galamsey fight. This is a gentleman I've had a very long beef with. Until recently, when we decided to smoke the Bonto pipe. We have a collaboration together called Marry Me. We are looking forward to shooting a music video together. We are looking forward to collaborating to do things. But this is nothing as compared to standing with the masses in Ghana. This statement is not only ignorant but dumb. It's not only ignorant but dumb and selfish. I followed this for some time. Shatta Wale says he's paid about 1 million Ghana cedis in order to get his license. So he's not a Galamseya. If you have your license, technically, you are not doing illegal mining. What you are doing is small-scale mining. So my point here is very simple. You have left your small-scale mining and you are defending Galamsey. And according to Shatta Wale, as published, Galamsey has never been responsible for the destruction of our water bodies. It is politicians who are telling us lies. And all those out on the street and protesting, they are controlled by politicians who are so selfish and using them as pawns to achieve their selfish, egotistical ends. This is so terrible. It's so disrespectful to all the people who have been arrested and jailed or are facing jail right now. Oh, what a shame. How could Shatta Wale say this? You are an artist that has a following. A number of the youth follow you. By coming out to say dumb things like this. Do you know how many people will pick up their hoes and axes and go straight up into the forest to dig? It's a dumb argument and it's sad. My brother, listen to this. Galamsey is an age-old thing. Prostitution is an age-old thing. Do you say that they are correct? They are okay? Would you encourage? I don't want to get personal. I honestly don't want to get personal. But my brother, nobody would encourage their sisters or their wives or their mothers to go into prostitution, all because prostitution is an age-old business. Would you? Would you? My brother, in the olden days, people did mining using very obsolete tools like bones and metals held in their hands. Today we are using changfangs. We are using dangerous chemicals. And sadly, Shatta Wale has a song talking against chemicals and how these chemicals are destroying the earth. In another vein, you come back and say, no, Galamsey is not responsible for this. What is responsible for the destruction of our water bodies? Galamsey is not happening in Rwanda. Are their water bodies polluted? Galamsey is not happening in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. People are running helter-skelter and going to all these countries just to sit by the riverside and water bodies, take photographs and say they are in paradise. Wodemaya is busily flying around the world. He's presently somewhere in Botswana or some other country like that. And he's telling everybody, oh, look at how the water bodies are so silently beautiful. Yet our water bodies now have become pito. They have become granite soup. And you will sit down with all respect and say Galamsey is not responsible for the destruction of our water bodies because you paid 1 million for a license. Therefore, they should allow the youth, everybody, to go out there and do Galamsey. No, Shatta. With all respect, I know that you are not a faker. I know you are a true guy. Please come back and withdraw this. It doesn't befit you. Well, if you keep talking like this, no corporate body will be ready to team up with you. Every corporate body is fighting against Galamsey the world over. Illegal mining. And if you talk like this, no corporate body would ever want to deal with you. No matter how many numbers you have. Stonebwoy is busily singing against Galamsey. Greedy man. He calls the song and much more. My brother, you have sung against chemicals and all that. Why all of a sudden, because of 1 million Ghana cedis, you are not even a Galamseyer? Unless you are doing Galamsey and we don't know. What you are doing is small-scale mining, which I am advocating to have stopped at least for 10 years to get our water body right. Why can't Ghanaians have common sense? No common sense. We are a nation of sheep. They want all the youth to go out, please the youth. So they go out, destroy everything. And when the country is all destroyed, we start blaming the government, start blaming leaders for things that we did to ourselves. Today, government officials are in American hospitals. Those in the mining areas, some of you have erectile dysfunction. Some of you have echo. Some of you are coughing blood. You will die there one after the other because you have no money to travel to America and go to their hospitals, England, their hospitals, and your politicians don't care about your hospitals here. I am sad. All the MPs, this MP that we just spoke about, and Dr. Free, I'm hearing that a doctor has petitioned the Ghana Medical Association on this issue, asking this man to be called upon and be taught the real ethics of medicine and stop this cheap bigotry and political nonsense and nonchalance. I'll leave it here. Shame on you guys. Next thing I want to look at is also taken from Ghana Web. And it says, job scarcity after graduation, making university degrees useless. And that is Kweku Darlington. I'm sure I've listened to a song or two from this artist. I can't remember. But if I go back, I'll be able to listen to the songs again and be able to make an informed judgment on his music. But it's not about his music at all. It's about what he's saying right now. My brother, Kweku Darlington, a Ghanaian musician and songwriter, has said that university education has become uninspiring due to difficulty in getting a job after graduation. He advised the youth that instead of going to the university for further studies, they should work for a while after completing senior high school to make some money. Now, the work that I am doing doesn't involve a certificate, but those who have certificates are changed. In fact, are charged before being offered a job. So things are not in order, he said on Cape Coast-based Property FM. Yes. There are graduates with huge certificates, but there are no jobs. So if we had the hope that after graduation we'll secure a job, like we will school with enthusiasm. So right now in Ghana, if you complete SHS and you have the strength, I will advise you to work and find some money. Now, if you make money and you can afford to pay for further studies, then you can continue. Hallelujah. I don't know this brother that much. I don't know how old he is, but wisdom has eluded him. Wisdom has eluded him. I'm not going to chastise him. I'm not going to drag him to the gallery. I'm going to school him. My brother, he's saying that when you go to SHS and finish, don't continue to the university. Rather, look for a job, work. When you have money, then you go to the university. How do you find a job? SHS. What job is that? If you can find a job after SHS, why can't you find the same job or even better after university? I'm struggling to understand this. After SHS, brother says find a job. And it's okay to find a job. Now when you make the money, now you go to university. But he says after university, you can't get a job. I'm lost. I don't get it. Again, my brother, are you going to school because you are looking for a job? You see the kind of thinking. From the way he's talking, he doesn't look that educated. That's why he's saying the job he's doing does not require a certificate. Maybe he doesn't have a university certificate. But when you live in a country where people only educate themselves because they want a job, then you know that you are ruling over non-entities. Every day they'll be knocking on your door. We have no job. We went to university. We have no job. Hey, do you know the degrees I have? If I tell you guys the degrees I have, some of you will melt. I have never worked in a government institution. have always been self-employed or employed in the private sector. How did I find it? By the other talents that I honed whilst growing up. Why is it that our people are only thinking about food? No brains. Your brains are all eaten by locusts. You go to school to get an education. You go to school to get a training so you can stand on your 2 feet. But in Ghana, I remember when I was going to the university, there was a whole family argument. Oh, this course that you are going to study at the university, when you finish, you won't get a job. Oh. And the kinds of courses we study at the university are now proportional to what jobs we would get when we finish school. And you hear some undergrads say, as for this course where they do, me if I finish no job they wait for me. This is mediocre thinking. Mediocre thinking. When people in America, in England, in Japan, in Korea, in China go to school to be able to make the world better using their brains, you are looking for bread. You want to go to school so you can go and find bread to eat. You are not going to school to be able to build on what has already been established so the world will become a better place. This is the mediocre thinking we have. My son came up to me and told me he wanted to study agriculture. And I asked him, why do you want to study agriculture? He was quiet because he's a natural arts student, just like me. He picks up a novel and within hours, he's dusted it and thrown it away. Ask him any question from it, he would be able to answer. Sharp boy. But he wanted to do Greek science. He's a natural literature student, natural art student, a dramatist, an author. But I don't have to think for my son. I just wanted to find out why he wanted to do agriculture. You know what he told me? Because I believe that the future is agriculture. And we lack that in this country. It's still the old men and women who are using obsolete equipment to produce food for the masses who are wearing coat and tie, sitting in the hospitals, sitting in the government offices, taking government money, taxpayers' money. So if I study it, I'll be able to build on what has already been done so that our nation will be able to prosper in agriculture. Tears came down my eyes. I told him, excuse me. I went into my room, in my closet, and shed tears. That's a little 15, 16-year-old boy. Look at the level of thinking. A grown-ass, hairy-bottomed, pubic-haired singer comes to say, University no kra, say okwa university kra na uya unye djuma. Enti ebeya uye SHS a. Eno am so be kwa pay djuma bi aye. Galamsey bi na say force bi, ton force a. And I say, galamsey ya. Eno anu no ukoye upa kakra na unye ska na opese okwa university na akọ. After all university no kra okọ uya unye djuma. Hey. Low level mediocre thinking. I leave it here. That is why somebody goes to study law, somebody studies medicine, and he wants to do music, and Ghanaians are against him. Oh, now who Dr. Pa no pese ubonyom. Oh, Debbie, who reduce who level cra. Now, akwawe also a lawyer, ampa. Debbie lawyer we the onya papa. Now, lawyer ben no person otunyum. And nyum papa cra was it dancer. Now dancer dan ka jaima Shatta Wale mo. We for no, omo amunum we no. And a tramol near Now would lawyer pa. Oh, Debbie. Hey, Ghana, is that your level of thinking? So mediocre. It is not even funny. Your low level of thinking. My producer says take the last one and we are done. All right, I obey that. Now this one is coming from Ghana Web, and it says, my career was damaged after endorsing a political party. Senkunu bebo pa pa ayunu beko kum ashikele. Obey jama utinika. Na wakofana watu musui obey die opesradinam. Driver banza we kunkro for me. Hey, driver banza no fazua. Hey, we all remember these songs. Hey, I remember one early morning at dawn. Dawn pa at Tiamade Secondary School. I woke up so early to go and mow. You know what it means to say mow, right? Because you had kakra. Hey, students were not allowed to have radio sets, let alone tape players. But there was a sixth form student who had a tape player. So he tuned into GBC at the time, Garden City Radio. And they were playing this man's music. Awariya beni, jaime, 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 jaime mamenkwe. Awariya dondo, awariya dompe, awariya benia, awariya nikaboka, awariya lase lase, awari. You know, this man was full of terms. In my days, he was our superstar. He was our Bob Marley in Ghana. Hey, Georgiara, my God. Hey, Georgiara, he was a superstar. And anytime I see him, I still have that. But today, listen to what he said. Veteran Ghanaian high life artist George Jara has warned musicians about the possible repercussions should they decide to endorse any political party. In an interview with Adume FM on October 2, 2024, the Ashikele hitmaker recounted the difficulties he's faced after endorsing an opposition party during ex-president Jerry John Rawlings' tenure. So that means he endorsed the NPP, right? Because if Jerry John Rawlings was president and he was an NDC man, then it was the NPP he actually endorsed. Jara explained that his support for the party led to a setback for his career, including a ban on his music from being aired on the only TV station at the time. I joined the party, and with what I went through after endorsing it, it wasn't easy. I was in my grandfather's house in Kwadaso, and they invited me to play for them. No one wanted to play for them in 1992. Since then, every song I did was not to be aired, and there was only one TV station at the time. I stayed home until Kufuor came to power before my songs came out. Jara revealed that his endorsement severely impacted his music career, limiting his opportunities and preventing him from achieving international success. If not that, I would have been on the international scene. I was all over Africa. My producer tried so well, but it didn't happen. The one I tried to put out, it went for only 2 months. It was later I got to know that the show I played was punishing me. He lamented. Hey! In the days, there was no song George Jara released that was not a hit. We all wanted to meet him. George Jara was so talented. Clear lyrics, nice performances, and in the days of the concert parties, he joined some of them to tour Ghana. In those days, there was nothing like social media. He went running after political money. You see, I keep saying this. Any musician who goes to endorse a political party doesn't know his job. I've said it. Because me, the moment you endorse a political party, it will be hard for me to play your music. Maka. Because, you know how I feel? I feel the musician is like the pastor. The musician is like a father for everybody. When you start endorsing one party in a certain competition of sons, the other sons will feel what? Left out. Do you get it? My brother, that is why you have never heard me endorse any political party. That is why you will never see me on any political platform, no matter how much they pay me. Never. Never. No matter how much I love you in my heart, I will never appear on your party colors. Dabi. So that when I'm speaking, I speak with power and energy. If there's a certain political candidate I don't like, I will vehemently come out against you and give reasons why you are bad. But I will fall short of endorsing any other party. They are two different things. My brother, let's be smart too. Recently, we have seen some musicians come out and endorse blah, blah, blah. In fact, a lot of them know that their tenure as musicians has ended. So they want to switch quickly into politics. That's okay. I don't have a problem with you. But that is where your music stops playing on my show. Because I believe that when I play your music, I'm endorsing what you are doing. More fans are going to follow you for you to drag to political platforms. I don't do that. To God be the glory. My brother, let's be careful. And it looks like Ghanaian musicians don't learn. Oh. They don't learn. Recently I heard, what's his name? Should I even mention names? I don't think it's important. Let's put those names away. Bridget, you have been a musician all this while. You have sung songs, beautiful high life songs that so many people love. And then boom, you go away and you say that you are endorsing a certain political party. Let's be careful. Oh. Please, let us be very, very careful. You can support any political party. But my brother, when you drag your career into that business, you are killing it. To George Jara, I want to believe that now that you've seen the mistake that you made and you have stayed away from endorsing political parties, many more people are going to rally behind you and they will support you. Sadly, these political parties that these guys endorse, when they come into power, they don't even look at them anymore. It's finished. They don't care about them. Who are they? Who are they? Hey. Oh my God. It's sad. It's very sad. It's very sad. I remember in those days, Shatta Wale made a certain song. And I was the one who popularized that song. I popularized it, Papa. You know what song it was? In those days, a number of artists had gone out there to follow political parties, running after political parties. And Bandana, at the time he was called Bandana, decided to make a song. He made a song. I'm going to close with that song. Listen to how he came hard on them. How many of us remember Mami Dokuno? Today, Mami Dokuno is an old woman, right? Shatta Wale did not spare Mami Dokuno. Listen.
Charlie, Leggy, Mambo. You see some people go follow some politicians way like right now they decide if you come out. Yeah. People with they don't know things they for us. Listen. Samuni mamunka mechemo. Muni mamu visa me mamo. Se muni mamu kame chemo. Muni mamu visa me mamo. Glass, washada iron ho. Snake under grass. Kwab na jinx whatever. Gonna into 4. Every muka sajas. Local ashamu ma they have no class. Omudi gari, otuminta fried rice. Water, who must know you sing. Disrespect a man and you get a beating. No say, do believe while still winning. Musician politics all are losing. Warping to keke for soup. In waka ebe wale eye kolebu. Mami dokna Johnny from a cry to Winnie Boo. Nobody they chase you a swan or soup. Mami dokna pa bongela boo. Me a madam for school. My advice to you is to school and don't be a fool. Reggie when I will see a tire fake. Make sure say I go they call your name. This
is 3FM. This is
3FM. Wait, enough no defeat. Akufado campaign, enough no the sleep. 4x4, Mulaki shows. I can your football, Muntumin Shago. Gabi Mamitia says, Munido. Your lyrics know the flow, your cash below. When MPP, shower Casa Venado. Abe Blafini, within any Wapampaso. Wuta, you lose. Quabla lose. 4x4 lose. School face lose. Cake you lose. Reggie lose. Lumba you lose. Mami Daklo lose. Dear my idea.
This is 3FM.
Muni mamu visa me mamo. Se muni mamu kame chemo. Muni mamu visa me mamo. Se muni mamu kame chemo. Muni mamu visa me mamo. Se muni mamu kame chemo. Muni mamu visa me mamo. Ghana music politicians. Mwale poto.
This is 3FM.
That's perfect.
This is 3FM.
When not just munamu effect. Music if you do want to the test. Just say me was stage to entertain, to preach about peace and love for the day. Then I see a political party, then another political party. Them say it's a game which I know they play. Cause I be musician. We do music for okay. Mupa chese, munamu niebie. Hey, opening mufie, makoka kumante, kona kodia planke, music industry, no be your property. Pesamen coming out, they bring papa vete, yate, TV advete, one day, bete, live yete. All I wanna say, let's all unite today, be your brother's keeper, and Jah will show you the way.
This is
You can never
3FM.
find nature, don't know what tomorrow brings. Samuni mamu kame chemo. Muni mamu visa me mamo. Samuni mamu kame chemo. Muni mamu visa me mamo. Samuni mamu kame chemo. Muni mamu visa me mamo. Samuni mamu kame chemo. Muni mamu visa me mamo.
Local musician, where you entrain be. Of course, and your politician some now betie. Excuse me to talk. Jama wa dream fear. Oh, be wise, don't think like a kuko drie. Oh, ko enim, ani mention menim, ebinum so system, afe na mokikem, afe na okikem. Sing for peace, don't follow one party. And this in wakika, too nasty. What happened to the ballot box? Oh, time constituency, them lost. Oh, MPP Ghana musicians. Oh, now you lose. You know what you do, toe.
Now you lose, you don't go feed koto, and don't go see a kwaba. You had all those ones. Shatta Wale, double Wale. I think it's some good piece of advice, right? Okay, it's been the voice of the patriot.